historian, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, distinguished fellow at the Hudson Institute, and a Fox News contributor. Secretary, great to have you with us today.
You know, Martha, it's great to be back with you.
Thank you. I just want to hit rewind here. I want to replay that soundbite from President Biden when he was asked what he hoped to accomplish while on this trip that we understand they're about to announce to Saudi Arabia. Let's listen to this again.
It happens to be a larger meeting taking place in Saudi Arabia. That's the reason I'm going. And it has to do with national security for them, for Israelis. I have a program. Anyway, it has to do with much larger issues than having to do with the energy.
Okay. Can you untangle that for us?
No, Martha, I can't. I'm not sure he can untangle that. Look, he's got himself in a place. He said things that were deeply inconsistent with America's best interests. He said he wanted to make the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia a pariah state, when in fact they are an important security partner for our friends and allies in the region, when they're an important contributor to the global economy, and when you have a leader in Saudi Arabia who, for all the shortcomings that nation has exhibited over decades, is making a real effort towards reforming that country. I hope he'll go there. I hope he'll put a reset on that relationship with the United States of America. We had it in a place that was deeply connected to making life for the American people here at home more prosperous and more secure. And they walked in and, because the Washington Post was angry, they walked in and walked away from a really strong relationship between the kingdom and the United States, which is really important to the American people.
Well, obviously, the murder of Jamal Khashoggi was a extremely disturbing event. And I know you wanted them to be held accountable for those actions. Did that ever happen?
Well, Martha, two things. First, the murder of any human being anywhere in the world is obviously horrible. The murder of Jamal Khashoggi is no different from that. It's worth noting that the Iranians have killed more people since the death of Jamal Khashoggi than just about any terror state in the world, and we are, under the Biden administration, sitting at the table with the Iranians, negotiating with them to try and figure out how to give them more American money, just as a note. Second, yes, we held them accountable. I don't remember the exact number. It was between 10 and 15 people that we could determine beyond a shadow of a doubt were connected to the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. We sanctioned them. Both Treasury and the State Department did those sanctions. We most certainly made clear that we found this unacceptable. But there was a larger, more important objective for the United States, and that was to make sure that our economy continued strong, that the Iranians, who caused most of the trouble in the Middle East, were pressured, and that the Saudis had the capacity, along with our other partners in the region, to defend themselves from the constant onslaught of missile attacks from Yemen and from Iran.
Well, we saw real progress in the Trump administration with you at the helm as well on the Abraham Accords, and I think the president was sort of hinting towards that kind of relationship, talking about security for the Israelis and the Saudis. We'll see when he goes exactly, he can fill in the blanks for us there, I hope. Here is Secretary Lloyd Austin. Let's turn our attention in the last minute that we have here to China. Here is what he said when he went to Singapore and spoke fairly strongly about China's activities in the Taiwan Straits. Watch this.
We see growing coercion from Beijing. We've witnessed a steady increase in provocative and destabilizing military activity near Taiwan. But the PRC's moves threaten to undermine security and stability and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific.
That's stronger language than we have heard from the defense secretary, who usually calls it the pacing challenge here. How do you interpret that?
Martha, it is strong language, but he's talking about the strength of the Chinese Communist Party instead of focusing on the strength of the United States of America and our partners and allies in the region. I wish that Secretary Austin had not talked about all the things China is doing, but rather talked about the things that the Biden administration is prepared to do to protect the sovereignty of Taiwan, prepared to make sure that we can still have commercial ships travel through the South China Sea. These are the things the Chinese Communist Party is talking about, to just simply in a speech highlight all the misdeeds and malign activity of the Chinese Communist Party. One could go on for a long time. What we need to do is lay out a sound strategy to confront the very real threat that the Chinese Communist Party presents to the United States and to the central understandings about human liberty and dignity around the world.
Well, China's minister says that the United States is doomed to failure if we entangle in that region, and that they are devoted to protecting their national sovereignty and security and the territorial integrity at any cost, says the leadership in China. Secretary Pompeo, always good to see you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Martha.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.